Welcome to the Odds Breakers, number one place for shared, sharp betting information.
Welcome back to podcast 31 of 2019. I'm your host, Kiev O'Neill. You can tweet us at The Odds Breakers. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram /The Odds Breakers. We have a fantastic show for you today. I'm going to finish up our NFL division previews and season win totals with the AFC South. I also have a special guest. Joey Shadeck from the Betting Buck is going to come on and discuss his website of Sportsbook reviews. And this is reviews from not only American sportsbooks that are obviously up and coming, popping up everywhere. Some in Vegas, obviously, they've been there forever. New Jersey, different states. He also has reviews for the offshore book. So if you're currently an offshore customer, or if you would like to be one, you should probably check out his site out, thebettingbuck.com. Obviously, if you need a sports book, you can obviously visit us at the Odds Breakers and click Bet Now to get a bonus. This episode is being sponsored by mybookie.ag. For a 50% sign-up bonus, please visit MyBookie and use the promo code TheOddsBreakers. Terms and conditions apply. If you'd like to help us out with our cost and sponsor our podcast, we would love to help you out. Please visit theoddsbreakers.com and click shop and become a member for $12.99 a month. You get my plays and premium plays before the line moves. For $2 more, you can get all that and become a patron subscriber and get the podcast a little bit early. And if nothing else, please visit theoddsbreakers.com and become a free picks newsletter subscriber. And we do have lots of handicappers that are sending out free picks. And if you are a handicapper and would like to become involved, please contact us via Twitter or via the website clicking Contact Us. So I'm also sending out plays for free members. You can also just be a member of the website for free, and I'm sending out a few of them. And I've been doing pretty good. I believe we're 11-3 right now. It was the end of the basketball season and some baseball. Kind of just picking and choosing a few of them and doing pretty well. And so I'm doing a few of those, and I'll also have free plays from other handicappers. We call them free subscriber plays, so please be a member of the website. Obviously, if you're a premium subscriber, some of those picks might be good enough to be premium as well. Five Dimes just released some more conference odds for college football. And we, for our members, have already sent out some more plays. There's a few long shots in there, a couple medium shots, and we'll see what turns out during the NCAA football season. All right, before we get into our NFL season win totals, I'd like to quick discuss the NFL and their rule change with pass interference. Now, they elected, the committee, obviously the owners, the NFL owners, elected to just keep it the way they've been running things, have coaches allowed to challenge pass interference and non-pass interference calls the way they've been doing it, and within 2 minutes, the league takes over, and they didn't want to change that because it affects their timeout strategy. So they wanted to keep it so that the coaches can challenge up to 2 minutes, and within the last 2 minutes, the teams get to, well, obviously the teams don't have any power. The NFL comes in and pushes the button themselves if they think it warrants a replay. Now, what's going to happen here is that obviously the game is going to be slowed down, and it's going to be slowed down a ton. The media is going to complain about it hard. They've already complained about the college replays and everything, and they complain pretty much about any little change that they see. But, what I think is that they should have an eye in the sky official initiating this stuff, because if it's obvious to you, it should be obvious to them, not necessarily obvious if you're standing next to the players on the field. But it also should be done within a timed basis, right? So now everyone's going to get on the NFL, like I was saying. They're going to say it really slowed down the game, just completely take it away. But I think that the fact that you've noticed that you've already had the wrong team in the Super Bowl because of such an egregious miscall, and the fact that it happens all game long, it was almost a blessing in disguise that this happened to the Saints, because nothing would have been changed. It's more important to me to have replay, even though it slows down the game, just to get it right, rather than the officials making so many mistakes because they overcomplicated the situation. So I applaud the NFL for doing this. Now, are they kind of doing it wrong by letting the coaches challenge plays? Like if they're way down, they're going to throw it anyway just to see what happens, and it'll slow it down. And even though it was obvious to you, it wasn't. You're going to see that. But it's more important for me to get it right and at least have something there. I mean, the game's already slowed down enough. But in my opinion, the true way to fix it is to have an eye in the sky official. That way they can take care of all replays, not just the pass interference calls and the pass interference missed calls, and that way the whole game could be still played at the same pace or even faster. Now, what's going to happen is they're going to reevaluate this rule at the end of the year and see if they want to keep the pass interference replays. What I hope is that they learn from all the mistakes that has happened and put a faster system in, like an eye in the sky official, rather than taking it away completely. So, we'll see how the media reacts to the game being slowed down a lot. But in my opinion, I think the spreads and the betting might become more accurate, and meaning the stats that come up are going to be more accurate. The true ability of cornerbacks, safeties, and wide receivers are going to be more prevalent, and you're going to get a much fairer game. So I do like this from a betting standpoint, from what the NFL is doing, especially when it could be a 60-yard penalty that's called completely wrong. I wonder if they're going to call a lot of those push-offs that happen before the pass interference. I wonder how they're going to officiate that. We don't know, because technically if the offense is pushing you off, it is offensive pass interference. And I also don't know what's going to happen when a receiver slows down to get the ball. The cornerback can't slow down. He can't predict what the receiver is doing in his mind, runs into him, and draws kind of a BS pass interference with that. So not sure what's going to happen in those situations, but they're definitely something to think about. Hopefully the league learns from it and becomes even better. But summary, I applaud the NFL for trying to fix an obvious situation. It sucked in the Saints' behalf that it took such an egregious penalty to make this happen, because if that pass happened in the first half, like you saw that other missed pass interference in the NFC Championship game, this never would have happened. All right, let's get right into NFL season win totals, and we only have one division left, and that is the AFC South. The AFC South plays the NFC South and the AFC West this year. These divisions are looked at as a pretty hard schedule for the AFC South, because the NFC South, you obviously have Tampa Bay, and they should improve a little bit this year with a better coach in Bruce Arians. And you have in the AFC West, the Oakland Raiders. They shouldn't be quite as easy as they were last year. Obviously, how they went nuts in free agency and on the draft with Chucky, John Gruden as their coach. So I don't think that the AFC South has it that easy having to play the NFC South. You got the Saints, the Falcons. You got the Carolina Panthers that was just in the Super Bowl a few years back, and with the AFC West, of course, you have the Chiefs, the Chargers, and the Denver Broncos. So not that easy for them. Start out with the Houston Texans. Last year they had 11 wins, but their Vegas win total is only 8.5. At-large games are versus the New England Patriots and the Baltimore Ravens, obviously playing the best in the other two AFC divisions. Their key losses, the Honey Badger Tyrann Mathieu, cornerback Kareem Jackson, cornerback Kevin Johnson, offensive tackle Kendall Lamb, defensive tackle Christian Covington, wide receiver Demaryius Thomas, but that kind of happened during the season if you remember. Demaryius Thomas, cornerback Kayvon Webster, cornerback Sharice Wright, running back Alfred Blue, and inside linebacker Brian Peters. Key additions, safety Tayshaun Gibson, cornerback Bradley Roby, quarterback A.J. McCarron to back up Watson, tight end Darren Fells, cornerback Body Calhoun, Brian Body Calhoun, and left tackle Matt Khalil, who they drafted. Offensive tackle Tyus Howard, cornerback Lonnie Johnson, offensive tackle Max Sharping, tight end Khalil Waring, defensive tackle Charles Omenihu, cornerback Xavier Crawford, and running back Cullen Gillespie. I have a question about this Texas thing. I'm looking at their schedule, right? And they went from the third easiest schedule in the whole league to the very hardest. Okay? The very hardest in the NFL based upon NFL season win totals. The teams that they're playing have the added up highest amount of wins predicted by Vegas. So that, therefore, they have the hardest schedule. So I have a question about that. They got to 11 wins last year. Nobody was really blown away by this team. Okay? How are they going to get even close to 11 wins when they have the hardest schedule in the league and they lost all those players?
What a stupid question that is. What a stupid question. But I watch you a lot. You ask a lot of stupid questions.
GM Brian Gain had two missions in this draft. Get good offensive tackles and replenish all the secondary that they've lost. Both were somewhat accomplished, but I'm not a big fan of some of the reaches that they made in this 2019 class. I think the biggest issues with this team is, like I said, now they have the hardest schedule. They had 11 wins, and the only position they've really gotten better at is offensive line with the addition of Matt Khalil and the draft of Tyus Howard. Okay, you think that anyway, right? They did lose Kendall Lamb, so they did lose a offensive lineman. You know, this team had a lot of production last year on defense, but it's going to feel some of these losses. You know, it's going to feel losing the Honey Badger, Kareem Jackson, Kevin Johnson. You know, I think they had a couple people retire as well. You know, Cushing retired. J.J. Watt's older. Clowney's older. So we'll see what happens there, but I definitely don't like all the people they lost. Will Deshaun Watson stay healthy this year is obviously the biggest question. He took a lot of hits last year. The Texans' offense led the league in allowing quarterback sacks at 3.8 per game. That's a lot. I think the second place was at 3.2. Second worst. But allowing 3.8 sacks per game. Watson can definitely get hurt if this doesn't improve here. Let's hope the Matt Khalil thing helps. But this team also benefited immensely by having the second best turnover margin in the league at plus 13. Okay? I don't like the Texans' chances this year. And I really don't think that they're going to make the playoffs. Now, J.J. Watt and Deshaun Watson are really going to have to fire up this team. And I love J.J. Watt. You know that as a Wisconsin Badger. I love him. But I just do not see how they can get anywhere near 11 wins with all that turnover and this extremely hard schedule and the turnover margin being at plus 13. So here's how I got to that number. Starting with 11 wins from last year, their Pythagorean was 10.75. So I averaged it at about 10.9.